Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Qaisar Hayat. I'm lecturer in Department of English, Hayat University of Science and Technology. Dear student, we are studying English Code 382 and this is the 18th lecture of our course Research Method in Linguistics. The topic for today's class is predictive research. Student, we have taken different research topic. Up till now, we have learnt what is research. Then we have studied about hypothesis. Then different type of research we were studying. Predictive research is also a type of research in which a sort of prediction has been made as a hypothesis, as a questions, and that prediction is later on worked through the scientific method which is called research, and the result has been concluded. So let's see what is our discussion agenda for today's class. First of all, in today's class we shall try to define the predictive research in detail. What is predictive research? How it's different from other type of research? What are the similarity between this type and other type of research? All these aspects we would study in today this lecture. After the definition, there is another area that we have to study today, and that is predictive research actually answer the questions. We would mention the question, we would mention the areas where predictive research work and predictive research answer. Actually, this is the area where predictive research action. After telling you the action area of research, we shall study what is the purpose of predictive research. Student, different research has been carried out for different purposes. So we would try to know that what type of purpose predictive research has, why it has been selected for different type of work. After this, what is predictive research questions? What type of question is molded for predictive research? After discussing the questions for predictive research, we would study what is predictive analysis in research, how the predictive research data has been analyzed. We will studies and cover these areas in today's lecture. Then, what is predictive method? How this method is different from other methods, and so on. How does predictive model work? And why is predictive analysis important? And at the end, we would discuss in example from predictive research areas. Student, at the end, I would try to summarize my whole lecture so that you may easily understand what we have studied today, and in a sort of way we would revise the whole work covered into the lecture. So after seeing discussion agenda, let's go to definition, that what is actually predictive research. Let's discuss, let's define. Student, predictive research is chiefly concerned with forecasting, predicting outcomes, consequences, cost or effect. Students, when we are confronted with a situation where we have to work on forecasting or predicting, and our outcome are the consequences that we have to face, or the cost and effect on which we are working, especially in business areas, these type of thing has been predicted in a way that research has been and can be done on it, and that the research which would be done or that can be done is predictive research. Now, this type of research try to extrapolate from the analysis of in phenomena, policies, or other criteria in order to predict something that has been tried, tested, or proposed before. Student, we can't predict without, or we can't predict baseless. Definitely, if we are predicting, there would be different areas that we have to work on. As per the second part of this part of definition is concerned, actually this type of research tries to extrapolate from the analysis of existing phenomena. Basing on existing phenomena, actually some policies, other entities has been concerned, and then some prediction has been made. In simple word, standing on the ground where you are, looking left and right, seeing the actual conditions, while standing there you predict something more. And the word more indicates that you are predicting about the future, but your basis, your actual support is the information that are already being provided to you. So, we can say that predictive research is a research that analyzing your existing condition, you predict about the future. Now, after the definition, let me tell you something about the research areas where this type of research, which is predictive answer. So predictive research answer the questions like a predictive research project often ask how or how well something might work, or what the impact of something might be. The impact on a phenomena or another would be positive. I'm doing what, student? I'm predicting, yes, that the impact would be positive because the impact would be visible, clear in future, but right now I'm predicting. So, how well or how the impact would be, the answer is impact would be positive. So this type of questions would be replied, would be answered in predictive type of research. Now, predictive research tell you about the future occurrences, but whereas prescriptive research, which is called also normative, make applicable and tangible recommendations. Predictive research is often more hypothetical, theoretical, or experimental. It concerns ideas that haven't been tried, might not be testable, or didn't previously exist. Student, what is prediction? Prediction means which hasn't been occurred yet, but you are predicting on the basis of some info that you have achieved. So descriptive research actually is applicable and tangible recommendation, but as well as this predictive research is considered that is more theoretical and experimental, and it concerns idea that haven't been tried yet and didn't previously exist. So the predictive paradigm is a lot like a crystal ball trying to tell the future of something. This is like a crystal ball that tells you something about the future. Now, students, let's know something more about predictive research. If you are doing predictive research, what would be the purpose of you? What would be the purpose of your doing while you are involved in predictive research? Predictive analysis involves extracting data from existing data set with the goal of identifying trend and pattern. Student, do you know that without any clue, nobody can predict? Research is the same. Student, research is not something imaginative, that is not something like fairy tale. Research is a doable phenomena. Most of the time my student asks me, sir, research is the most difficult, complicated. No, research is not difficult. Research is only systematic. If you are as per the system correct, if you are adopting all the steps, if you are going forward step by step, you are following and you are observing the rules specified for research, there is nothing difficult. Now, as well as this type of research which is called predictive. Student, prediction is a sort of quality that's thought to be very strange in human society, because if someone prediction is correct, what happened that we believed extraordinary at that person's. So predictive research is definitely doing of human, but that's not that just revelation type something. Predictive research is also systematic. It's not quite obligatory, it's not quite trustworthy that a person in predictive research or a researcher in predictive research just give slogan, raise voice and say that, look, this is my prediction. No. In predictive research too, there would be some data already existed. There would be some reason to predict. You would identify that data, and while seeing, considering, understanding, sensing, feeling the trend and pattern, only and only then can you predict. What does this mean? It means that if there are some trends that are indicating, if there are some consequences that are giving you direction, if there are some results that give you complete clue to predict, then you can predict. In a situation that the trend where goes, if the trend is going toward that something would happen like this, yes, researcher predict and later on try to prove. But while wandering on the road, nobody can predict. Without baseless approach, nobody can predict. Predictive research is a doable path. Researcher must know that if I am predicting while seeing, while considering the trend, definitely I have to prove it. So a researcher who predict later on, he or she has to prove. This point should be in your mind while predicting. Now, the trends and pattern that were considered by the research while giving slogan and prediction about something. Now, these trends and pattern are then used to predict future outcome in trend. Trend on trend would give you pragmatic. Trend already indicating would give you support to predict more. Then you, considering these area, you would predict and the outcome would come then. Now, what after knowing the questions, answers, let's see what are the questions that are existed in predictive research. Predictive research is actually a research in which you make prediction about a phenomena. So let's see What is predictive research? Question. Predictive research questions are defined as survey questions that automatically predict the best possible response option based on the text of the question. Predictive research questions are particularly popular because of their ease of use, time, and cost saving properties. Dear learner, research, especially this type of predictive research, questions can be defined as these are the survey questions that automatically give you an opportunity to predict the best possible response option based on the text of the questions. Predictive questions are particularly popular because of their ease of use, time, and cost saving properties. Student, every question in research is actually giving you base for the work. It gives you support to understand the area. It helps you a lot to go forward. But as well as this type of research, which is called predictive research, and especially the question of predictive research is quite clear. It gives you ease because prediction is quite clear. It provides you time because on other questions you take time to reach on the conclusion. But this type of question is clear, crystal, and cost may also be saved because the question predictive research concern is quite clear. Now, after the area, what is predictive analysis in research? Student, data is analyzed in every type of research because without analyzing data, how can you believe, how can you go forward? Data is the tool, data collection and data analysis is the tool that give you conclusion. And the conclusion part of your data prove you are right or you are wrong. Your hypothesis is satisfied or not. But let's see what is predictive type of data analyzed. Predictive analysis is a category of data analytical aim at making predictions about future outcome based on historical data and analytic techniques such as statistic modeling and machine learning. So in this type of predicting, which is later on testified, analyzed techniques that such as statistic modeling is made. So predictive analysis is a category of data that analytical in nature and aim at making predictions about future outcome. And these predictions about the future outcome based on historical data and analytic technique. Now, the science of predictive analysis can generate future insight with a significant degree of precision. Student, this type of data analysis is quite precise in degree. It has more significant, it has more future insight, it provides a lot of ease to the researcher to work further and to predict about the result of the research. Now, what is predictive method? Predictive models are used to find potentially valuable pattern in the data or to predict the outcome of some event. The design choice or which predictive technique to use become even harder since no technique outperform all other over a large set of problems. Student, predictive research model are used to find potentially valuable pattern. These valuable patterns are in the form of data, and on the base of these data, prediction or predict outcome of some event has been made. The design choice or which predictive technique to use become more difficult or harder because no technique outperform all other or a large set of problems. Student, potentially valuable pattern to predict the outcome of some event. Actually what happened? It happened that predictive model is capable of providing you prediction. As its method is concerned, predictive model are valuable, more potentially pattern, and that provide you outcome of some event. Definitely it would give you help that some event would happen, some event would be there. Now what's the design, that which type of technique you would adapt, and what these technique would be easier or harder. So these methodologies would definitely make you able to reach on the conclusion for your predictive research. Now, after predictive methods, let's see how does a predictive model work. Predictive modeling is the process of using known result to create, process and validate a model that can be used to forecast future outcome. Student, predictive model of research is actually a process. Predictive modeling is the process. Process about what? Of using known result to create what have to be created, what have to be processed, and what have to be validated. Definitely there would be a model that can be used to forecast future outcome. Future outcome are the prediction about future. That's the main area, main focus of predictive research. When the main area is known, that is to be predicted. Now, definitely for that, we would also need some already prepared result. We would already need some process, and we would already need a validated model, because as I have already stated, I have already said that without having any base, nobody can predict. This is research, this is a systematic studies, this is a systematic investigation in which you must have a system. So what is system here? Already existing data is a system. Already existing analysis is quite a base. So adopting, observing all the concerning areas about research, about the field of research. Yes, if we are able to predict, the model is complete. So the model is, there may be already concluded data, already conclusion would be there. There would be already a known process, and a validated model would also be there. So it's a tool used in predictive analysis, a data mining technique that attempt to answer the question what might possibly happen in the future. Student, can anybody who is not a researcher claim that what would happen in the future? Definitely these type of statement has been done by some the people who claim that they are spiritually so acclaimed, so reached, and so on. Are some revelation people, those who claim that they have some support of these fairy creature, etc., and so on. But a sensible person, having knowledge, having education, having research capabilities, would never claim like that. It's actually predictive analysis has a system that's a data mining technique, and these techniques attempt to answer the questions. And the question is, what might possibly happen in the future? Because they have already analyzed a lot of data of the situation that when this type of situations occur, uh, something happened in future. For example, even a child can tell you that there is a cloudy, dark sky and it would rain. How the child came to know? Because he has observed so many times that when this type of weather is there, always there is rain after it. So, if we develop the same simple this ideology, yes, if the result are same, coming same again and again, so someone can claim then, yes, if the result is same as the earlier data was like this, so there would be a rain. So research model, predictive models give you ease to predict. This is quite clear. Now, why is predictive analysis important? Student, detecting fraud, combining multiple analytic method can improve pattern detection and prevent criminal behavior. Yes, with this type of behavior, which is called criminal behavior, this type of predictive analytic is quite important because you match the situations with the earlier situations, and definitely human mind has also some specific psychology, and the criminal activities can be stopped or slowed due to this predictive analytic process. Now, optimizing marketing campaign that can be also optimized through this type of research. Operation of the market or other areas that also can be improved. Risk can also be reduced, and so on. Student, let me give you an example of predicting. Just like a hypothesis, a prediction is a type of guess. Student, in the lecture of hypothesis, we have studied that hypothesis is a type of prediction, that this would be like that. The statement would be correct or not, later on it would be proved, but hypothesis can be made. A prediction is an estimate made from observation. That's not a hypothesis, but that's just like hypothesis. Now the example is, you observe that every time the wind blows, flower petal fall from the tree. Therefore, you could predict that if the wind blows, petal will fall from the tree. Students, as I have given you earlier examples of rain, cloud. So if this example, that if there is windy, the petal from the flower would fall. Because you have already seen that once there was a windy, there was a fast wind and the petal falls. So you have an experience. You are experimentally fit to predict. But if it occur otherwise, definitely there will be some exceptions, some sources, some elements. But mostly when it's windy, what happens? Petal falls. So this is a side of prediction that is made. After this area, let's summarize the whole. That predictive research concerns with forecasting future event or behavior, the assessment of variable at one point in time so as to predict a phenomena assessed at a later point in time. An example is again here to summarize the situation. A researcher might collect high school data such as grade, extracurricular activities, teacher evaluation, advanced courses taken, and standardized test score. In order to predict such college success measure is grade point average at graduation, award received, and likelihood of pursuing further education. Today, if you collect the data and indication are somewhere, so you can predict that what would be the result. For example, if a student is working hard, observing time, remembering, practicing, writing, revising, so what would be the prediction? You can predict, but most people predict that he would be successful in examination with high mark. So this is the situation. If results are coming the same, results are coming positive, you can predict that the future would be positive. Thank you very much for being with me in this class, which was on predictive research. Thank you very much.